The first chapter of the MetaZoo Games manga, The Shattering of the Veil, dropped last Friday. So today we're going to look at the top 10 Easter eggs of that first chapter. Welcome back, casters. Before we actually go through the breakdown of these Easter eggs, if you have not had a chance to actually read the MetaZoo Games Chapter 1 comic, go to Webtoons and actually check it out. I'll leave a link down below in the description. You definitely want to read Parts 1 and Part 2, especially since Chapter 2, The Rainbow Wizard, comes out this Friday, November 17th. But let's jump right into these Easter eggs. Coming in at number 10 is the baseball game itself. If you zoom in actually on the illustrations, you can make out what appears to be Rose and maybe M, which is interesting because M didn't appear officially in Point Pleasant until a couple of days after the veil shattered. So with him being there at the baseball game, maybe he was actually keeping an eye on Adam, Rose, and Sam before the veil actually shattered itself. Continuing with that as well, if you look at another panel and you zoom in, you can actually see what I'm assuming to be Mike Waddell and Andy Murat as well, the creator of MetaZoo and the current president of MetaZoo Games as well. That's a nice little nod to one of the Collecticon promos that was circulating around earlier this year with, I believe it was Andy, Aoki, Mike, and Shaw actually in the background of that baseball game. Number 9, I got really excited about. It is actual confirmation, in my opinion, that people did turn into cryptids once the veil shattered. If you look at the panel at the baseball game, you actually see what appears to be a beastie with one of the uniforms on from the Cumberland Dracos. Now, I'm assuming that this is one of the players for that baseball team, and with them wearing that same outfit, uniform, if you will, that the Cumberland Dracos was wearing, I feel like this is proof that people turned into cryptids once the veil shattered. This is right around the same time, too, that everybody's aura was actually being released. So we'll have to wait to actually get more confirmation on that, but that was huge to me when I first saw it. Number 8, I think, is one that a lot of people actually missed. If you look at Sam as he's coming down the stairwell, and you look behind him, you can actually see a picture of what looks to be Adam and Sam. But if you look a little bit further up, you actually see a picture with, it looks like a boy with red hair. Who could that be? I think that's Ben B. We know that Ben B actually plays a role in the story. He was introduced during the Topps Chrome release, so we haven't really had much information about who Ben is, but I think this might be confirmation that Ben knows Adam and Sam, that he knows M, because why else would Ben's picture be inside of their house? Number 7 is a lot because it involves the one big picture, the overview picture of Sam's bedroom. There's a lot to actually go through with that. First thing that caught my eye though was Love's hat, the actual pointy hat that he actually has, along with a plush that looks like it also could be the Loveland Frogman. If you look above next to the window where the shelves are, you actually see a ding bell as well, which is really exciting because, spoilers, that should be the first beastie that Sam actually contracts. At least in the original comics, that was the first beastie that Sam actually contracted. Something else that I think is worth pointing out is that if you look at the image of all of the different cryptid cam photos that Sam had actually taken, Loveland Frogman was one of them. So maybe Sam has actually seen the Loveland Frogman before the events that actually take place later on in the story. Now, on that same page, we have another huge spoiler in my opinion, and it's not directly addressed, but I think it goes to one of the lines that's actually in the comic. It says, M kept his secrets. And if you look at the image, you can actually see again Love's hat. You can see feathers which remind me of Rainbow Crow, along with, it looks like, gold clippings and gold chain. So this tells me indirectly that M has actually been in correspondence. He has actually been in communication with Love in Ohio. Same thing with the Rainbow Crow. Not entirely sure how he's actually communicating with the Rainbow Crow, but those images were very deliberately put there. So it's kind of exciting that there's a lot of mystery when it comes to M and what M has been doing ever since the Veil shattered and he came to Point Pleasant to take care of the boys. When M is actually creating the veil that goes around Point Pleasant to protect everyone, some of the images, some of the symbology that we actually see represent the same hollow pattern that we see on cards. Like I said, we see it a couple times when magic is being performed actually in the manga, and this is probably one of my favorite Easter eggs just because it completely connects the manga, the cards, and the universe, everything together. It's just, I love that moment. Like Mike said in the Discord, the little details matter. Coming in at number 4 is the baseball bat that actually has the signatures of, I believe, most of the team actually on it. And it has some of the OG signatures as well. Like looking at Mike's signature, he hasn't used that in well over a year and a half, 2 years. So it was a cool little nod actually to the entire team actually, and incorporating them actually into the manga proper. Number 3, this is one that it's a little bit of speculation because we can't really confirm it. But if you look at one of the panels while Sam is getting ready to actually leave to go to the Cryptid Tower, you can actually make out what looks to be Mothman. So that would line up too with the story as well, with Mothman trying to penetrate the actual veil around Point Pleasant in order to get to Sam. So I like that little nod right there of this is what's actually being set up. Number 2 is right along those same lines too. You can't really see it unless you zoom in, but if you zoom in on the Cryptid Tower right before it actually explodes, you can see the mass of spirits that are surrounding the tower. The spirits again are what were used in order to penetrate the veil to allow Mothman into Point Pleasant. So it's really kind of cool that they're there, but you can't really see them unless you start looking for them. Same thing with the radio tower itself. If you look closely at that second panel, you can actually see the outline of a spirit right before the entire room explodes. Again, going with the idea that the spirits were the ones that allowed the veil to be shattered around Point Pleasant, or at least be penetrated to allow Mothman in to get Sam. Now, if you read the original comics, you probably already know this one, you probably recognized it, but the number 1 Easter egg in my opinion is how often Sam's sigil actually shows up. Now remember, each caster has an individual sigil. They're all completely unique, they're individual to the one person. Sam's sigil is the 3 crowns. And you see that as a patch on his shoulder, especially on one of the panels right before M catches him after he has been pretty much paralyzed by Mothman. I personally love that the patch is visible, that they didn't hide that they didn't keep it hidden until he actually contracted Dingbell or whatever beastie it is that he contracts first now. I love that they showed that and it's prominent. And it's one of those things too where if you didn't read the original comics, you wouldn't really know the significance of those 3 crowns. So I'm excited actually for when he contracts Dingbell and we see that on the wrench. Fun fact in case you didn't know this also, but the 3 crowns were actually used as a banner or an image that King Arthur used back in Arthurian legend. But we'll talk about that more later. There is a bonus Easter egg as well too. If you look at the panel when M is actually looking at Mothman, you actually see his pajama bottoms. And on those pajama bottoms you actually have a cactus cat drinking coffee, it looks like, from a coffee mug. Again, that is a direct reference to the original comics, and my only question I have to MetaZoo is, when can I get those pajama bottoms? Bonus Easter egg would be, I don't know how many people actually picked up on this, but the date has actually changed as well too of when the veil shattered. Originally, back in the original comics, it was 2021, and now it is 2024, meaning that when Sam is 18 years old and the story picks up proper, it is now 2034. Let me know down below if you actually caught that date change. Last bonus I have for you is, did you catch the cookie that M made Sam for breakfast and what it was shaped in? It was in the shape of a sentry box devil. But that is your top 10 Easter eggs of the MetaZoo Games manga Chapter 1, The Shattering of the Veil. Leave a comment down below, let me know what your favorite Easter egg was. Let me know if there's one that I actually missed. I know there were some smaller ones I did not include on this list, so if one of those was your favorite, definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Like I said though, if you have not had a chance to read Chapter 1, I will leave a link in the description. Make sure to go to Webtoons and check out Part 1 and Part 2 of Chapter 1. Chapter 2, The Rainbow Wizard, will be released this Friday, November 17th. So expect a video of that as well in the coming days, along with another Easter egg breakdown. But my name is Turmentic. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Like I said, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Easter egg was from Chapter 1. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.